Hey there, I am reporting live from the Estes Park Resort where we have begun to wrap up our Parents' Weekend. Our Parents' Weekend is something that we do quarterly where we get the parents of the kids who are in our facility and they spend days with myself and our director, Sherry Simmons, and we go over what they've been doing, what's worked, what's not worked, and we truly do a deconstruction process about parenting, about working with kids in crisis and being a parent of a teen who's really, truly struggling. And I just wanted to show you some of the things, except that I know that on Facebook everything is reversed, so I can tell you about some of the things that you might see here that might be backwards. For example, this is our react versus respond. That's where we talk to the parents about the difference between reacting to what's going on in the moment and learning how to respond. Respond is something that we do from our prefrontal cortex, whereas a reaction is something that tends to be knee-jerked or based on emotional experience. And to that end, this is, again, backwards, but this is how we see things. Up at the top are the results, and then there's the actions, and then there's feelings, and this is the iceberg, and this is the waterline. So many parents and so many people react to each other based on the results, based on the actions that someone has taken, especially a teen at risk, and the feelings that they can at least see. But look at what's underneath the waterline. There's feelings that we don't see, there's thoughts, there's experience and values, and really basically human needs that aren't being met. What if everything a kid is doing is an expression of need? And not just a kid. What if everything we do is an expression of need? What if the color of the shirt that you choose to wear that day, the food that you decide you're going to eat, how you decide you're going to discipline your kid, it's all an expression of need that you have. And rather than just being reactive to what your kid at risk or your teen at risk is doing, or what your spouse is doing, or what is happening to you, what if we took a moment to figure out what the need that isn't being met is, and we identified that need? What if identifying the need, we found out that it was about connection or worth or safety or power? What kind of parent would we be if we stopped parenting from our own survival instincts? I deal with a lot of parents who are in pretty deep fear of what their kids are going through. And these kids have gone through a lot. They've made some horrendous choices that have led to terrible results, that have led to actions and behaviors of avoidance and numbing because the results of their poor choices are causing them more pain. And the parents are trying to help them correct, trying to help them make different decisions, trying to lecture them on the right way, and here's what you should do, and here's how life actually works. And it doesn't work. Things get worse. So what if there was a way to teach parents that there's a different part of your brain to parent with? And as you can see all the posters on the back walls and everything like that everything we talk about, we write down, we get the parents to repeat, then they turn to their neighbor and they tell it to the neighbor, and they high-five each other, and they go through all the seminar stuff. But these are the basics of parenting a child at risk. These are the basics in learning that intention, delivery, and perception are very important things when it comes to creating a consequence that's really gonna matter for a teen who's making choices that it's just wrecking their life. And that if you're parenting from fear, or you're parenting from anger, or you're parenting from frustration, or you're parenting from stress, how good can your parenting actually be? So even in those angry, frustrating, stressful, fearful moments, can you access the best part of your brain and parent from a different place? And the answer is, of course you can. And if you can't, then you probably should delay any creation of consequences and possibly even a conversation. So anyway, these are parents who I have had the privilege to work with for the past few years. These here are the parents whose children are in our facility right now. And it's incredible. It's incredible to watch the courage and the curiosity, the courage to confront the way they've been parenting and say, okay, everything I did got me here. But if I want to get to that next level, I got to do something different. And the curiosity to truly ask the questions, what do I do when my kid steals my car and then gets pulled over on a DUI after they snuck out and then they get found with a couple baggies of pills in their pocket and a scale? What then? And for them to begin to embrace the answers that really speak to self-care and giving nurturing actions towards your adult relationships, and then from that place deciding what you're going to do about your kid. Because if you don't take care of yourself and you don't take care of your adult relationships, really what kind of parent can you be? And I know that's hard to hear, but it's true. It's kind of a deep truth. If I take care of myself first and I take care of my adult relationships second, I'm going to be a good parent. Because the things that I need, my needs will be fulfilled. And they're not going to be fulfilled if my child does something. If only my child would do something different, then I could be happy. If only my spouse would, and then I could. If our healing, if our happiness is based on expectations of others, well, in Buddhism, that is what suffering is. It's expectations of others. So what if my time and my energy, if 99% of my daily experience is based on self-care, really taking care of myself? I'm at work because I have to pay bills, and I've got to take care of that mortgage, and I've got kids to feed. But in this moment right now at work, what does taking care of myself look like? And when I pick up the phone, what does taking care of my relationship with my significant other look like? And then I'll parent. Because in that moment, because I have fulfilled my own needs, and I have helped fulfill the needs of the people I have chosen to be partners in my life and my work, now I can take care of my kid. And that's kind of ass backwards from what the parents come in. They've been focusing so much on what their kids have been doing and trying to pull their kids out of these life and limb situations that their kids are in. And these are the kids who are cutting and suffering from significant depression and suicidality and drug abuse and alcoholism and running away and promiscuity and the things that can really damage a whole life. Not just the moment, not just things that we're going to brush aside and say, oh, he's just being a kid. Because when your daughter runs away in a place that has horrid human trafficking, like Colorado, what do? Well, this is where we work with the parents to how to figure that out from their best part of their mind, their prefrontal cortex, not their limbic system where they're just in survival mode of fight, flight, freeze, faint, fornicate, and feed. And obviously everything that we're talking about here, I'm trying to get these parents to focus on themselves, not on their kids' behaviors. Not even on their kids' needs. Not yet. Not until you understand the needs that you haven't met within yourself. Because if your needs aren't met, what kind of parent can you be? And it's not that you can just say, well, I don't need to get my needs met. I have to meet my kids' needs. You know what you're teaching your kids if you're doing that? To go meet everybody else's needs first. And that's misery. And it's not being self-centered. It's being centered in yourself. The parents who come to this workshop, while all of this comes back around to them taking care of themselves, I watch these parents start to interact their children from a very centered place. They go to have dinner like they are right now. They're going to have dinner with their kids. And they're walking into this room and they're coming into the room with their kids and their nervous system is well regulated. And the kids, of course, they're still in a very reactive, trying their children. They're children who are suffering and struggling. And so they're still trying to bowl mom and dad back into this old cycle of how you get your needs met. But mom and dad are suddenly doing a new dance step. That's hard on a kid. Mom and dad are suddenly, their nervous system is calm, so the kid says or does something that used to work, used to pull the parent out. And it doesn't. And so, of course, the kid's going to amplify a little bit. Well, that's the test that the parents have to face. Can you be in the middle of the craziness, of the insanity of addiction, the craziness of cutting, making sense, and keep your heart wide open and use the best part of your human brain, not just your animal brain of, oh, I have to nurture, or, oh, I got to survive, or I got to help them survive, or we're all going to die. I get the opportunity to see parents who are at the end of their rope work so hard at trying to figure out how to love and support these kids that are struggling so much. These parents are willing to do anything for their kids. Sometimes everything except take care of themselves. And that's what I see them start to do here. I see parents who go, holy crap, I've spent all my attention on this kid. My kid has become the patient. And that's not a relationship with a child that is your child. It can't be your patient. You cannot be a parent who's a therapist. You have to be a parent. Maybe you need a therapist, but you can't be both. It's not healthy. And so it's getting these parents back centered in themselves to reestablish the relationship with their kid where they're the parent and the kid's a child and there's boundaries and the boundaries stick. And the consequences are delivered with empathy. And the consequences are realistic, and they're not knee-jerk emotional reactions, but they're actually based on love and logic. And they've thought about it, and it makes sense, and they've handed the problem back to the child. And they're resourced so that when life and limb issues do come up, the parents know who to call. They know who their tribe is, and they're not alone. And I will tell you, a family is only as sick as its secrets. And when this type of illness hurts a family, what I know is that every single one of these parents walked into this event feeling like they were the only parent who's ever dealt with this thing ever. And it's funny to us because you say, hey, how many of you have had your kids steal your car? And parents sheepishly raise their hand. And I say, don't look at me, look around. And they look around and they see 5 other hands up. And then I say, how many of you have kids who have called CPS on you when they were angry and told CPS that you beat them? And now 3 or 4 hands go up and they're looking around, they're saying they're not alone. The worst part about having a kid who's suffering from mental health issues is feeling like yours is the only kid that suffers from mental health issues. And then you sit in a room where you get to learn from people who've been through it, who've put their parents through it, and who might even be suffering their own mental health issues. Say, you're not alone. We're all here and we can call each other. I love this event. It takes a toll on me. It's a lot of tears. It's a lot of power. It's a lot of questions. It's a lot of what do I do when? And it's a lot of if only my child would stop, then I could be. And that's never the answer. Not for anything. Not for relationships. Not for anything. But these parents walk out of here with a boatload of tools and a whole lot of centered nature within themselves. I just wanted to share this, and I'm going to be talking about a lot of the posters on the wall and doing little video clips on them. So if you're interested, or if you know a family member or a friend who's got a teen, a child at risk, or just needs support with their parenting, please send them to our Fire Mountain Residential Treatment Center Facebook page. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I love sharing this stuff. I love doing this work. And if I've ever had the pleasure of working with you, thanks for joining up and saying hey. And if I got any warriors on the feed, please leave an aho down below. All right? I'll be talking to you guys again soon. Check out our webpage at Fire Mountain Residential Treatment Center, especially if you're a parent. Check out the podcast, Beyond Risk and Back. Please share, like, and leave a review on any of the episodes. And thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting my work, you guys. I really appreciate it.